Have you ever felt like your garden is a second job? You spend your weekends hauling heavy bags of compost to the far corner of your yard. You forget to water the delicate herbs because they're tucked away behind the shed. By midsummer, the weeds have taken over, the pests have moved in, and you're ready to trade your shovel for a concrete patio. Most gardeners fail not because they lack a green thumb, but because they lack a design mind. They treat their land like a flat map where everything is equal. But in nature and in permaculture, energy is everything. The secret to a flourishing, low-maintenance landscape isn't working harder, it's working closer. It's about a concept called zoning. Today, at Perma to Plate, we are exploring the 6 zones of energy, from your kitchen table to the deep wilderness. Understanding zones 0 to 5 is the difference between a garden that drains you and a garden that sustains you. Let's look at the blueprint for your future abundance. Zone 0, the heart of the system, the home. Everything starts here. Zone 0 is your house, the center of your daily life. In permaculture, the home is more than just a shelter, it is a massive collector of resources. It collects rainwater from the roof, it generates gray water from the shower, and it produces black gold in the form of kitchen scraps. If you don't understand Zone 0, you lose the most consistent energy source you have, yourself. Every time you step outside, you are a walking source of observation and labor. Your design must radiate outward from this center to capture every drop of water and every scrap of food your home produces. Zone 1, the slipper's garden, the kitchen garden. Zone 1 is the area immediately surrounding your doors. This is the slipper's garden, the place you should be able to visit in your pajamas and slippers. This zone is for the high-maintenance divas of the plant world. Salad greens that wilt in an hour, delicate herbs like cilantro and basil, and seedlings that need watering twice a day. Because you see this area every single day, you catch pests before they become plagues. You harvest at the peak of flavor because the food is only 10 steps away. If a plant requires your attention daily, it belongs in Zone 1. Zone 2, the orchard and small livestock. Step a bit further out and you enter Zone 2. This area doesn't need your eyes every hour, but it needs a visit at least once a day. This is the perfect home for your backyard poultry and your perennial berries. Chickens belong here because they require daily feeding and egg collection, but they also act as your mobile workers, scratching the soil and eating pests. This is also where you place your primary compost system and small fruit trees. You are still intensely managing this area, but the plants here, like currants or blueberries, are hardier than the fragile lettuces in Zone 1. Zone 3, the main crops, the farm. Now we reach the scale of production. Zone 3 is where you grow your staples, the calories that will feed you through the winter. Potatoes, corn, beans, and large nut trees. You might only visit Zone 3 once or twice a week. These crops are tough. They don't mind if you forget them for a few days. This is the area for large-scale hugelkultur mounds and major cover crops like alfalfa or clover that fix nitrogen for the whole system. Here we rely on the biological engineers we've discussed before to do the heavy lifting, while we focus on the bigger harvest. Zone 4, the managed wild, the forage forest. Zone 4 is the transition zone. It's a semi-wild area where you might harvest timber for fuel, collect wild mushrooms, or forage for hardy native fruits. This is where you partner with nature rather than direct her. You might prune a tree here or clear some brush, but mostly you let the forest do its work. It acts as a buffer, protecting your inner zones from wind and providing a habitat for the owls and hawks that keep your rodent population in check. It's a space of high yield for very low effort. Zone 5, the wilderness, the teacher. Finally, we reach Zone 5. This is the most important zone for your mind, though you may never harvest a single fruit from it. Zone 5 is total wilderness. No design, no management, no interference. In Zone 5, we are not the masters, we are the students. We go here to observe how the forest floor creates its own mulch without a gardener. We see how the ancient oaks survive a drought without a hose. Zone 5 is the laboratory of the earth, providing us with the operating system that we try to replicate in our own gardens. Every design needs a Zone 5 to remind us that nature already has the answers. Why zoning matters. Why do we go through the trouble of mapping these circles? Because efficiency is the key to sustainability. If you put your compost pile in Zone 4, you will eventually stop composting because the walk is too long. If you put your thirsty tomatoes in Zone 3, they will die because you won't see them wilting until it's too late. Zoning organizes your labor based on the reality of your footsteps. By grouping plants with similar needs into the correct zones, you create a drip of productivity rather than a flood of work. You save water, you save money on fertilizers, and most importantly, you save your own energy. In a well-zoned garden, the system begins to manage itself, leaving you more time to enjoy the black gold you've created. Where to start? If you are looking at a barren lot or a messy backyard, don't feel overwhelmed. The golden rule of permaculture is start at your doorstep and work out. Establish your Zone 1 first. Master the small herb spiral near the kitchen. Get your compost bucket working in Zone 0. Only when your inner circles are thriving should you push into the outer zones. Build the foundation of the house before you try to plant the forest. The journey from dead soil to a thriving food forest is a long game, but with the right blueprint, every step you take is a step toward freedom. Thank you for joining us at Perma to Plate. If you're ready to design your own zones of abundance, hit that subscribe button and share this with a fellow gardener. Let's grow abundance together. See you in the garden.